Aloha and welcome to the Key to the Treasure with myself, Neil Molokai Mystic, and my confidant.
Nick with my angels.
And this short little live stream is a deeper dive into the quote of the day. The quotes come from my book, Answering the Call Accidentally on Purpose. Um, Nick, what is the quote of the day? Namaste.
Namaste. It is our responsibility to respect the divine in each other. Oh, how did I read that?
Try it again. Try it again. Try it. Take two. Take two.
It is our responsibility to respect the divine in each individual.
Ah, that's all. Um, yeah, absolutely. Um, this particular quote comes from chapter 6. And this is a lesson I think that is um, not only challenging for ourselves on our day to day lives, but also as parents or as children, as uh, family members. Because sometimes we, as parents, we've lived a little bit longer and we've experienced a lot of things. And when our children are going through stuff, we want to fix it. We want to fix it because we know the heartache, we know the trials, we know the the challenges that our loved ones are going to be going through, and so we want to be there, or we want to put up some kind of a block so they don't enter that door. It's like, no, please don't go there. Um, but if other people had done that for us, good intentions. But if they had done that for us, would we have learned the lessons that we then know that want us to protect our loved ones from doing the same thing? We wouldn't have that experience, so we wouldn't have gained that wisdom. And then we would be repeating it. And if we had somebody stepping in to save us every time, that lesson would keep coming across, and we wouldn't be able to grow and expand and gain the knowledge and understanding that we have from going through that experience. So as much as we would like to um, use our lessons that we've gained to hopefully help someone else to have more ease and grace in their experiences, um, supporting them by sharing our wisdom, by sharing what we've experienced is one thing, but actually fixing a situation for someone else, it's really saying you don't trust the divine in them. You're not honoring that divine in them. And the divine in you that got you through everything that you've endured in life, everything that you've gained understanding with, is the same divine that is in your loved ones that you want to fix and save, you know? So if the divine can support us in our own personal journey, why would we doubt the divine supporting our loved ones in their own personal journey? We can share our light and reflect to the other person the higher good, the higher outcome, the possibilities of the the positive changes that can come about. But if we walk their journey for them, it's only a temporary fix. Because if this is the lesson that they're meant to learn, they need to walk it. They need to experience it so that they can gain the understanding of their personal journey. And what we did for ours, it could very well be that the way we handled it was right for us. It could be totally bass backwards for the other person. They need to walk it their own way. They need to experience it their own way. And like I said, the same divine that helped us through what we went through is the same divine that's in our loved ones around us. You know, so in this particular chapter, it is understanding that um, yeah, sometimes our gifts can feel really heavy for us, but if we see the higher perspective and we do it in a way that we're saying, I want to see the higher perspective as to what I am meant to do in this current situation, helps us not only know what our path is, but also to respect the path and the personal journey of each individual.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah, you got quiet.
I I mean, it's a perfect explanation to this quote in regards to where it comes in the book, and um, of course, it fits perfectly. But I have a question, like, this quote can come in different contexts. Let's say if you forget completely the book and the context where it came, and
Mhm,
you just read this, it can come in a totally different aspect and different situation. Like, for example, when I see this, it is our responsibility to respect the divine in each individual.
mhm,
The first thing that comes to my mind would be, instead of thinking about fixing another, a loved one going through something, I would go into not judging
mhm,
someone uh, for their choices, and or judging someone for their belief, or judging someone who doesn't do life the way I think they should do, or judging someone for their religion, or judging someone for their gender, or their sexuality, or whatever. The judgment that we human are so good at doing.
we're so good at it. We're so good at it.
Yeah.
That and it's true. And
So what would you say about that?
you're very much on point because it is our responsibility. We cannot control how they react or respond or whatever. But if you look at them for the divine individual that they are, regardless of what energy they live in, what choices they make, what ideas they believe in, um, it's all divine because my truth and your truth are still truth, even if we are completely opposite in the way we're thinking. Because what is right for you is what is perfectly in alignment with your personal journey. And that is a divine journey. And if we can see the divine in others, if you were to look at my personal profile, the what is that thing called in the background of the profile picture, the banner on my personal page, all it is an eyeball, and then there's an image of Jesus in the pupil. Because when I see someone, I don't see their age, their beliefs, their religion, their sexual preference, their whatever. It doesn't matter to me. What I see is their divine light, their potential, their ability to shine in their own beautiful, unique way. And it's not their responsibility. I mean, it's not my responsibility to say how they shine. It's my responsibility to see that in them, to connect, because we are all connected. And as soon as I see that light, I am one with that person. I am their strengths, I am their vulnerabilities, you know. So, how can I judge that? How can I judge that if I know that the same divine that's in me is the same divine that's in you. And you could be completely opposite of me. I just love you that much more because now you have added flavor to my life. You see what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
um, it is my responsibility on choosing to see that divine in others and respecting that divine in others. Whether they do it for me or not, that's their journey. You know, I can't. I have no control over other people and how they look at the world. But
I
this is how I look at it.
That is exactly where I wanted to go, what you are saying here, because the way I was raised is that this is the truth and it's the only truth. And our mission is to bring people to this truth. So it didn't resonate with me. Although, like,
But you got to respect it because
yeah,
that's
I do.
in the
I
divine
do.
in those that live that particular truth, and that's their truth. You know, so it's like I say, one truth does not diminish the truth of another because it is uniquely perfect for the other, and yours is uniquely perfect for you.
Yeah, yeah. What I'm saying, I understand. But what I'm saying is that I have I do respect these people, but it didn't resonate with me because for me, I see the divine in everyone, whether they are like me or different than me. I cannot say they're not like me, then they are wrong. This is for
Right.
me, I
Yeah,
can't imagine it. It doesn't feel right to me.
it doesn't feel right because you are in a higher awareness, and their intentions are good. Their intentions are pure because it's what they believe, and they have to follow what they believe because that's their truth, and that means they're living their truth. So I respect that. I respect the passion in other people, even if I don't resonate with what their truth is. I still respect the fact that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is their,
yeah.
you know. But when you understand that I see this truth in this other person, but I also see my own truth, and that's self empowering. And when you can even see the differences in these two truths and stay in that respect and honor the divine in the other person as well, you know, this is what brings that harmony in that vibration of love. Because the biggest illusion is separation. We're not separated, you know. We just all follow different paths, but they all lead to the light.
100%. Am I right to think that respect is also to not try to convince or change, like convince the other person of a different way and change them?
There is a respect in that, in not trying to force. You don't force. You can't force somebody. You can only suggest. You know, and they'll, like somebody says, "Oh, I had to do this because so and so said I should." You know, excuse me, you still had a choice.
Yeah.
You still had a choice. They have a choice. What you can do is present different opportunities. You know, if I put myself and my beliefs and everything in a box and I close it up, and then you say, "Oh, let me show you something." Okay, you lift that lid of the box a little bit and you show me a different light. Now, whether or not that light resonates with me is my choice,
Mhm.
you know. And you've heard me say this time and time again when you say, "Oh, you have to," and I say, "I ain't got to do anything." Okay, because no matter if I resonate with what you're saying or if I don't resonate with what you're saying, the bottom line is I have the choice. I don't have to do anything, you know. My thing is I choose to, or I'm able to, or I get to. And what I get to do with being presented with the opportunity of understanding other belief systems is I get the opportunity to expand my own awareness. I get to taste the flavors of other people's lives. Does that make mine less than or theirs less than? No, it just makes it a big, beautiful oneness with a bunch of different flavors and accents, you know. I was very fortunate to grow up in the energy of there are no strangers. There are just friends that you haven't gotten to know yet. Um, that my mother used to have us go to all these different faith services. Okay. And the reason, I mean, we would have Bible studies and little pink books and blue books and, you know, magazines, little flyers. We'd have all these different types of studies for religion, you know. And I'm like, "But we're not this faith or we're not that faith." And she says, "How can you respect them if you don't take the time to understand them?
Mhm.
If you don't take the time to get to know them?" You know, so this is the energy that I was brought up in, you know, and I was very fortunate as well. I mean, there was a lot of crap in my life as a child, but the things that benefited me were very fruitful. You know, I lived on a block where we there was such an array of ages, abilities, races, beliefs. You know, so I had this whole smorgasbord of life to understand and get to know. You know, um, different ways of belief, different ways of looking at things. All of these things brought into me this appreciation for the differences in the world. You know, now learning all these different faiths was great, but then when it came to mine and it was in Latin and I didn't understand, I can, you guys know me, I can barely understand English. So I'm going to church and the priest is speaking in Latin. I'm Roman Catholic, by the way. Um, I didn't know what my religion was about. I
Mhm.
mean, she had us studying all these different faiths. And what that did, I looked at going to church as a place where I got hit. I had to wear the itchy dress with the, you know, skirt and the bonnet and sit there and, okay. And I wanted to know, I was hungry. You know, it built this hunger up because here you're having me study all these different religions. And then you take me to my church and I'm not being fed. I don't know what he's saying. And I would ask, and she'd hit me and say, "Shut up, we're in church," you know? And it, and even that was a blessing because it built this hunger, you know? It built this hunger for all of my whys and ended up, I ended up teaching religion and I ended up teaching in a way that I wanted to be taught. I ended up being able to use all those moments of the getting hit in church to feed my students, you know, because it built that hunger for me. And this is where I am with accents and different cultures. I'm hungry for that. I want to know you. I want to love you. I want to be a part of you in an intimate, energetic, spiritual way. And this is part of honoring the divine in other people. Because when you honor the divine, it's not just that you want to know their name, you want to know them and you want to honor that that connection that you have with them. So I know, long story short. Okay.
Interesting story.
Yeah. So yeah, we're taught a lot of different things, and and that's okay. And what may have served us in the past um, actually empowers us whether we are meant to let it go or we're meant to use it as conviction for what our truth is in the moment. Our truth in the past may not be the same truth that we hold now, but we don't despise that old truth. We empower ourselves in today's truth.
I see Vivian's comment. Love your stories, especially the long ones.
Thank you, Viv. I know I can go there, but there's a lot.
So yeah, I really love this quote. It's I mean, I love them all. I was going to say one of my favorite, but they're all my favorites.
This is such an important key, you know?
Yeah,
It really is an important key because when we look at life as respecting the divine in each individual, including ourselves, we relieve ourselves of guilt, of not saving, of not convincing, of not forcing someone to see our way, because we trust that the divine is working in all of us and has a divine plan for each individual. And we trust that. So it takes a lot of the stress and pressure off of ourselves. You know, you can plant the seed, and that same seed may blossom in someone immediately, and they've got this big aha moment. And another person's going, yeah, right. Yeah, right. But then 2 years later in springtime, it's a full apple tree. And now they're sharing it and they're planting the seed. So we don't force, we just share.
because when you try to force people,
Gag. Yeah, yeah, they push back.
yeah,
And if you're getting a pushback, how is that enlightening? They're, you know, but if you just share, you share who you are and you be open to allow them to share who they are. And when I say open, that means open to understanding their truth because it might just resonate with you more than you think,
yeah.
you know.
That's why my one of my favorite teaching um, method is leading by example.
Hmm.
It's a gentle teaching method that
Yeah. I mean, and when we can share stories, and yes, I'm a parable person, I will share a story because when you share a story, it resonates because it touches the different emotions of things. And um, when you touch emotions, you trigger senses. It's retained deeper with someone. It's shared in a personal way for them. Um, and so by leading by example, you're sharing a story of your life, an experience of your life. You are being an example for them to experience you. And when you experience, you get better understanding. If I'm just telling you something, X, Y, and Z, okay, it's part of the alphabet. And you go on, you know? But if I'm explaining to you how I experienced that flow of the X and the dive of the Y and the zigging and the zagging of the Z, then you're moved, you know. Brilliant key. Everyone is individuals. There's no point in disrespecting others' divines. It hurts you and them. But to learn different truths opens up the whole world of knowledge and love. Ah, profound, profound comment. Thank you, Kaylee. Um, so that is your key to the treasure for today's quote. Thank you, Nick, for always picking a awesome quote. I never know where we're gonna go, but you always take us there. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us. It is aloha from me and
namaste.
namaste.